Another fantastic week. We missed one, but we'll be okay. We're going to make up for it as I get my main man back, Jacob Padilla. And it's not like I didn't see you. We were in a lot of the same places last week, whether it was at a practice, covering a practice, or in a basketball gym.
So gas station on the way there too.
Yeah, wasn't that weird? Like I just see you, and that almost never happens to me. Of like my friends, like I could see people that I know, but I almost never see anybody that I see a ton like in the store.
Forget that you live over by me now.
Yeah, I'm right around the corner now, so it's like whoa. But anyway, was that Friday on en route to UBT?
Heading out to day one.
Yeah, for the recruit look, which we will get to shortly, man. But it's been kind of a whirlwind. How you been?
Good. Good first weekend with my new squad. It's been like you said, bit of a whirlwind trying to figure all this out. Obviously, a lot of new things, a lot of moving parts. But yeah, excited to kind of keep this thing going.
Quickly, should we kind of start with that recap, just in case some people aren't familiar with the merging, the teams, like the organization?
That's probably a good point. Like this is why we were supposed to record last week, and that's on me. But so the way kind of the AU structure worked previously here, you had ETG, which was the kind of the Adidas program in the state. Factory and Supreme down in Lincoln, they had merged to form an Under Armour team. So you had two shoe circuit teams, kids split between the two. That changed about a month before tryouts, where Factory and Supreme were no longer together, no longer on the Under Armour circuit. So Matt Cumro, the owner of Supreme, moved in and with his partner purchased OSA. So now it's all under the same roof. So you've got ETG still kind of operating on its own at the top, and you've got basically the best athletes in the state all funneling to that team to start with. And they're now on the 3SSB again, full-fledged, full program. And then below that, you have the Nebraska Supreme Pro 16 teams. And Pro 16 is a new Balance league.
Yep.
In its first year.
They're going to play is it a 20-game league?
I have no idea. Honestly.
I think it's like a 20-game league.
I know there's different, like we're going down to St. Louis and Wichita for the first two.
It's supposed to be highly competitive.
Yeah. So we'll see. I haven't seen a full roster of the teams in the league. I have no idea who I'm going to be playing. I'm coaching the 15U Pro 16 team, which like ETG, you've got both OSA and Supreme athletes kind of funneled that way. You had tryouts like normal, and then kids from the Lincoln and the Omaha tryouts were both called back for a second tryout, and that's how we picked those Pro 16 teams. And then below that, you've got OSA still running its own ship, having its like elite teams below that, and you've got Supreme running its own ship down in Lincoln with their national teams, and kind of operating separate while still under the same leadership. So that's kind of the structure for how that all went down. And then you've got obviously the same. You've got Omaha Elite, Factory, Powerhouse, Hoffman's Hoops. Like you've got now Greg Hepburn and Chris Bennett.
Are they doing Nebraska Supreme?
They fired up the Nebraska Hoops Elite brand again.
Oh yeah, they're back to Hoops Elite.
Yeah, back to Hoops Elite. That it's kind of what they're called back when Chucky and Brad Bennett and all those guys were playing together. So brought that brand back. So just a lot of teams kind of spread throughout, but the OSA Supreme merger is kind of the biggest change.
So you're out of town this weekend? No, because we're off this weekend, and then we're back.
ETG is over in Des Moines.
That's just a one-dayer.
Yeah. So I told Brunko I'd probably be free to head over with that. So maybe get a chance to see those games. But so, yeah, a lot of those teams that we just talked about were in action at this RecruitLook Omaha Showcase to start the season.
And I think we got to kind of set the tone. Like you weren't going to see. Am I out of picture? That's okay, because I'm kind of more of an audio guy.
There you go. You know what your money maker is.
Yeah, right. It's certainly not the way that I look, so I could care less about that. But like these are to get games in under your belt,
Yeah.
right? It's not going to be the best of the best. Although you saw a few good teams, especially at the younger 16 U's, 15 U's.
And there were some travel issues that some teams drop out. PSA Cardinals from the EYBL were supposed to be here. Didn't end
missed
up
a
making
flight
it.
maybe or whatever.
Bears Tail. I don't remember where they're from, but their program was supposed to come down here and they did not make it. So those games got wiped out. So there was a lot of scrambling going on, but everybody got 4 to 5 games to at least kind of work off some rust, see what they've got.
Yeah, and it will take the holiday weekend off with Easter and then right back at it the following week. And then it gets hectic here with the Omaha invite for 3SSB.
Yeah. Again, I'll be down in, again, the one downside of me coaching is I have to go wherever my team goes, which means I missed the last Adidas event here in Omaha because I was coaching my own team elsewhere. I'm going to be doing the same thing this year, but I enjoy it. I'll get a chance to hopefully those games will end up on Synergy and I'll get a chance to at least watch a few of them. But it's
and you probably know ETG as well as anybody anyway, so it's not like you have to watch. Although it is it's a different guy every game, it seems, for them.
Yeah,
to be the guy.
Let's dive in. Start with those ETG 17s. They went 4-0. 102 to 51 against Pluto Prospects. 94 to 61 against VWBA Elite, and that's the one that I got to watch. They shot 17 of 28 from 2, 18 of 28 from 3. Like that. that is just stupid. It's 60% from 2, 64% from 3, 23 assists and 9 turnovers. You had Neil Mosser, 18 points, hit 5 threes. Aiden Zickman, 18 points, went 6 of 7 from 3.
He went on his own 15-0 run.
Yeah, hit 5 straight. Jane Jackson, 15 points. He did most of that early on. He was a guy that set the tone and only hit 2 of 2 from 3, but going to the basket again, continuing to expand his off the dribble game. And Will Cooper, 11 points, joining back the team after playing with these guys 15U summer. 3 of 4 from 3, 11 points. CJ Mitchell, 10 points. Kevin Stubblefield, 10 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. Caleb Benning, 7 points, hit a 3 as well, 4 boards. And Elijah Gay, 5 points, hit a 3, 11 assists to just 1 turnover. Like that's winning basketball. You get that out of him with all those shooters knocking down shots around him. Like you had almost everybody on the team knock down a 3. Like that was just such an impressive offensive performance, no matter level of competition. Like you got to be able to knock down the shots, whether you're getting good looks or not. And they were hitting them. And some of those were pretty well contested and they just hit them anyway.
Yeah. I had a tough one on Sunday against Kingdom Hoops, who got out.
You got to beat Omaha Elite first, 90-74. And
that score was a little misleading.
It was
that game was for 3/4 of that game was relatively close. There was the patented ETG run that they're notorious for going on. But the first 2.5 quarters, I mean, that was as back and forth in a ruckus environment as we'd seen.
And fortunately for Omaha Elite, Quentin McCafferty, big guy from Omaha Concordia, injured, wasn't able to play this week. But they had all their other guys. And Omaha Elite, very, very good team. They've got the Omaha North backcourt, Daleron Thomas and Minor Strong.
Minor is vastly improved.
He
was tough. He scored from all 3 levels. He showed some versatility.
So with long with getting the hands in passing lanes.
Those mid-range little floaters that he would hit. I was impressed
for sure. But again, ETG held on there. And then, like you said, that Kingdom Hoops to round out the weekend. What was the deficit? You guys felt
we were
early,
down 16.
Down 16, and Kingdom was getting to the basket.
It was 43-27 and
corner threes. That's how it happened.
And ETG came back with really, really good defense. Couple of runouts. That was probably Caleb's best game. I think he led him in scoring. Was good from the foul line. The 2 or none is
it's
weird. Understated though.
Yeah. And we're talking about free throws. It was 1 free throw for
one to make 2, and it was across the board.
Yeah.
right? So and one, and it's like,
You get fouled on a 3, like that's a lot of pressure on that shot.
right? And I saw in the younger grades, the 15s and Micah's grade in the 7th grade, there's close games late. I saw a 38-36 game with like 41 seconds to go that ended up being, 51-46 kind of game, just because you get fouled and you get one to make two. I felt like that was kind of an interesting wrinkle. You can get back in it in a hurry.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the style RecruitLook likes. Less free throws, more basketball. So it is weird to adjust to, but I don't hate it. But yeah, so first good weekend for ETG. You've got Jacob Rope, obviously down at the Final Four watching his brother play.
Got some TV time.
You got one other guy that'll be added to the mix. Will and Jacob are the 2 new guys coming over from Supreme to join the.
So happy to get Will Cooper back. He is,
and then Modelo Deng, also wasn't there.
Thrill Cooper, as I like to call him. Love his frame. Were you surprised at the muscle that he's put on? I thought Will, one of our better players over the weekend. He was fantastic.
Looks like he's maybe putting in some work while injured.
Very
to
much
build up his body. So yeah, it's really good fit for that team.
You're gonna get open.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, ETG looking strong like they always do. Again, 102, 94, 90, and 65 after spotting the other team a 16-point lead. You still win by 7. So good first weekend for them. Elsewhere in 17, talked about Nebraska Supreme. Pat Freeman's coaching this team. You've got Ben Dak and Antela San Linnell are going prep school, reclassifying. Those are the big guys on that team. And then you've got the Gretna backcourt, Landon Pekorski, Alex Wilcoxon.
They're pretty good.
You got Marcus Glock. You've got Jake Hilkman, who was really good this weekend. I like his game a lot. Eldon Turner.
I'm a big ET fan.
Yeah. KG Gatwich. Like they've got some dudes on that team and had a really good weekend. They although their first game was a forfeit, unfortunately. They didn't even get to play a full half. Side note,
it was behind us, so I didn't see what was going on.
Yeah.
But they stalled.
Side note I don't understand why tournament organizers have, if you get ejected, you're done for the tournament, or at the very least you have to miss the next game.
That's what happened
on the rules.
And they were our opponent.
They don't follow it.
Yeah.
I saw 2 different coaches get ejected and be coaching the next time I saw them on the court. So anyway, it's neither here nor there, but so the forfeit, second game, 63-60 overtime win against Nike Mean Streets. I guess there's 16s playing up. Won that thing in overtime on a 3-pointer from Alex Wilcoxon on a feed from Landon Pekorski. So go figure. Gretna boys there, but BD was really good. 13 points, efficient, 5 boards, 2 blocks, and also 12 points, 6 boards, 2 steals, 2 assists, and then Jake 11 points, made the most of his opportunities. Really good win for that team. And then they closed out the weekend 76-69 against Pluto. And then they beat Kingdom more than ETG did, 68-54. So that's going to be a really solid team there. Pat's a really good coach. And
I like him on paper quite a bit.
Yeah.
They've got good enough ball handling. And it's pretty good with Eldon. You got to get some help in the backcourt against, I think, elite level backcourts, because they can suffocate. I think people try to get out and guard them, but they got good length. They've got good shooting. That's good. That's a good basketball team. Really good length.
Very much so. So excited to see them play together for the first time. Obviously, you've got some different pieces. Some of those guys have played together. Others played together elsewhere, and now you're kind of merging them together. And that's kind of what the deal is going to be with these Nebraska Supreme teams. Elsewhere in 17, MBDA went 4-0 as well. They had a good win against all Iowa Tech, their top team. Outside of that, they didn't really get challenged. That's you got Dylan Clausen going over there to join Trayson Anderson, forming pretty darn good backcourt there. Plus, you've got Christian Swift from Roncalli, Grant Urbanic from Millard North. It's a solid team. Nate Shimonitz is coaching that. So good first weekend for them. Didn't get to watch him play.
Good to see Shimonitz back.
Yeah, he's done a good job with that program. Excited to see him coaching. I know he's happy to have a prep guy on the squad. I talked to him before one of their games. So Clausen made such a huge leap from last summer to where he is now. And that's going to be a tough backcourt. Clausen and Trayson playing together.
Yeah.
But also you've got OSA Elite Travis went 3-1, bounced back from a lost Omaha Elite to win their last 3. You've got Alec Wilkins kind of leading the way on that. You've got Steven Pulacek from Bellevue West joining that team and playing for.
It really gives them some good shooting.
New head coach Steve Klein is diving into the summer game this weekend. He was originally going to be coaching with me as an assistant because he was kind of just getting.
And that was kind of last minute, right?
And tryouts basically they said, all right, we want you to coach this team, and said like, okay. So I guess it's just me and my brother now. But so kind of good first weekend. They were a little shorthanded early on. They only had 6 guys for that Omaha Elite team, and turnovers just killed them.
Archie does a good job with that Omaha Elite team. He coaches them hard.
Yeah, they went 2-2, but again, they beat OSA Klein again, forced 25 turnovers. They beat Iowa Barnstormers Black, so their second team. That's a good program, and lost ETG.
Two good losses,
and then really good win for Supreme National 1. Dane Jacobson's team, coached by his dad Brad. You've got some really good Lincoln kids out there. You've got I watched them play against the Barnstormers Black. They lost that one in overtime. They didn't have Cale Gustafson and Asher Endorf there, 2 of their taller players on the team, and Ben Ehlers is on that team. They've got a pretty good squad there. You've got Quinn Weatherholt from Lincoln Northeast. That's a good squad, and they went. I believe they went 3-1 as well. That was the only loss. They beat Hoffman's, beat Malone Fast Breakers, and then they beat Omaha Elite to close out the weekend. So Aiden McDowell from Crete, who just played with Crete last summer, he's back with them after playing 15U, and that's a good pickup for them. Hit 4 threes in that Barnstormers game. I was
going to say he'll give them some he can dial from distance.
Yeah. And then OSA Elite Travis, kind of the same group that he coached last summer. A lot of the same guys, few adjustments there, but Jordan Gasson from Millard West had a really good weekend. Colin Comstock had a good week.
Probably
a good game.
A good name to know for this summer. He's got a chance to kind of elevate his stock, I think. No pun intended for Comstock. No, I'm serious. Like I kind of like his game.
Yeah, and he struggled against the Barnstormers. They lost that one. That was their one loss. After they beat All Iowa Elite Black. So that's a good win for them. The first 2, they weren't really challenged. But Carson Jones, he gave them a chance in that. 18 points, 6 of 9 from 3 against the Barnstormers. So that's going to be another good squad. Again, a lot of those guys that play together, and Jeremy does a great job. And then the AEF Academy, Andy Beck, kind of former OSA coach, split off, opened up his own deal there, and his 17s went 4-0. Didn't get to see them all, but so that's kind of a run through most of the 17U results, some of the top teams there. Want to dive into 16 real quick?
Yeah, let's hit it.
ETG again, 4-0. The 90-67 against Pluto Prospects, 76-43 against VWA Elite, 87-61 against Nike Mean Streets 15U. And then this is the one that I saw, 59-53 against All Iowa Attack Elite Red. They were at 40-23 at halftime, and then just forgot how to make shots in the second half.
Shot selection will have a tendency to get away from them, though, if you don't. You know what I mean? Because when they get going and feeling good, it's not like – I mean, that thing could go up from just about anywhere at any time.
And Derek Rollins didn't play this weekend. You've got Derek Rollins, you've got Robbie Garcia, you've got Braden Frager coming over from Supreme, joining that team. You've got Amir Martin, played well, scored 12 points.
And they will see some wars in practice.
Yeah.
Because they will play against those 17s.
Yep. And oops, that isn't me. That's fine. Sorry about that. Who else is Reese Kircher, Bryson Ball, also coming over from Supreme. They've got Brock Scholl back from
Gosh,
ETG.
He's tough.
Taven Murphy over from Supreme. So it's a lot. That's the one where they really a lot of change from last year ETG, whereas the 17th it's mostly the same, just add a few. You basically flipped over half the roster here, but
and they're gonna, if they play together, they will be very good for it.
Yep. You've got some size, you got some athleticism. I mean, put out a dunk reel from the weekend there. Taven's dad did, I believe, where they had a bunch of guys get in the mix. And Frager, he changes things a little bit for them. They adds a little something they didn't have in terms of just the
Good
size
athlete.
and athleticism to go with their post inside. So good start for them. The Nebraska Supreme Pro 16s, I did not see them play at all this week. They had a rough one, went 1-3. So that's a team that's a work in progress. You've got kind of, again, another one where you're merging there. Lincoln, OSA, got Nixon Lagori, Kyle Cannon, Deacon Courtney, Mari Rahaman on that team. You've got Mari Shoemaker who second half came on strong for Lincoln Southeast. You've got Barrett Boziger from Norris, sharpshooter.
And once again, make note of that. He nails the last name. He's got a little familiarity there.
Yeah. And then elsewhere, AF Beck, his top team went 4-0. And it's basically the entire OSA Elite One team from last year went over there. Plus, you've got Hudson Newverth and Jack Thrasher, who are on the Adidas Gold team, joining
that's good.
It's a really good roster.
That's a good roster.
They beat Hoffman's top team 67-43. They beat a Lincoln Supreme Regional team 71-32. They beat KC Kings Elite Red 68-40, and they beat Supreme National 2 78-67. And Lincoln Schwartz in that KC Kings game from Elkhorn South, 16 points, 15 rebounds. Then he had 11 rebounds, only had, I think, 4 points, 5 points, something like that in the Supreme game. But dude is a monster on the glass. Jack Thrasher, double figures, both games, again, from Omaha Concordia. Trey Ibarra went off in that second game, had 20 points, 7-12 from the field. Trent Krogerman had 16 in the first game. They just got a lot of guys that can hurt you. Brendan Reeves and Jane Herrera, 10 points, both hit a couple of threes in the Supreme game. So it's a deep and talented team. A lot of those guys have played together. They're used to playing for Andy Beck, who has a very distinct style of coaching. So
he's intense.
Yeah, that's the team that you're gonna want to keep an eye out for. And I know you got to get out here. Let's wrap up with the 15s.
Yeah, let's get it.
ETG went 3-1. 67-60 win against Iowa Barnstormers Gold. 63-37 win against Nebraska Hoops Elite Black. 69-55 against VWBA Elite. This is a game that I saw. Nike Orgabold was really good in that one. Elkhorn North had 13 points, only missed one shot, hit a couple of threes, hit his free throw.
Their future looks pretty. It looks like it's trending up at Elkhorn North. If I'm kind of looking at some of the pieces that
are a lot of freshmen, sophomores play this year.
Right. If I'm looking at the pieces it's a school to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Nike's going to be a good one. Donnie Barfield from Westside, Nolan O'Neill from Lincoln East, both scored 10 points on 4-6 shooting. And Jackson Smith, the 14U player playing up with the 15s this summer from down in Missouri, Kansas City area, from Staley High School. He had 10 points.
They're a monster. We've been at that facility a few times. That's a beautiful, I call it a campus. It doesn't look much like a high school. It is a monster at Staley.
Yeah. And so they played well. And I mean, they're kind of figuring each other out. A lot of these guys play together, but there are a couple of new guys that are kind of blending in there. You got Tyler Bullock coaching that team with Mitch Mosser. And so they closed out the weekend 56-70 loss to All Iowa Tech Elite Red. They got down huge, kind of battled back into it, and then just wasn't clicking for them. My team went 4-0. We first two games didn't really challenge us. Third game, we played like we were going to be able to walk through, and down 3 at halftime, kind of lit into them a little bit. Second half, we won by 20. And then Nebraska United got the best 14U players playing up on that team, plus a few other Lincoln kids. They kind of pushed us a little bit, but we still ended up winning by 18. So
do you like this team? You were so close to a couple of your other teams. It's a feel thing, I know right now, but what do you think?
So the only difficult part is my team is so spread out, like just in terms of practices. I've got Nate Kelly from Scottsbluff, who was really good in the two games, really needed him. Sawyer Smith from Ogallala, who started and had a really good freshman year out there. I've got Jack Poppy from Don Trumbull. We talked about him on this podcast quite a
multiple
bit.
times.
Excited to have him. We've got Caden Clark from Ankeny, Iowa, coming over from Ankeny Centennial. And then I've got Derek Tonjes from Ashland Greenwood. And then I've got one Lincoln kid, Micaiah Sanders from Lincoln Southwest. And then I've got Omaha metro area kids. I've got Trevin Wilkins from Gretna, Alex brother. Got Owen Anderson, who played JV for Millard North. Got Kobe Myers, the son of Bryce Myers at Millard South. Got Jordan Nguyenma from Creighton Prep, who played JV. Is that trying to think that might be everybody. I might be forgetting one person here, but Tonjes, he's going to be really good. Kelly, we already know, is really good. I'm excited about this team. We've got a lot of guys that I think can carry us forward.
One of the best in the business. That is Jacob Padilla. It's Nebraska Preps postgame. We will be back next week. We're gonna stay with Wednesdays. We think we like it. Don't you dare miss us.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.